Hello, everyone. My name is Putty, and welcome to the podcast. I am joined, as always, by our current affairs correspondent, Tucker Davidson. How are you doing?
Good.
What have you been up to this week?
I've been watching a lot of basketball.
Oh, yeah, like last week, then.
Just like last week.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad to hear it. So we had a little discussion at the end of last show that I was interested in continuing. So I can hear Tucker grimacing from here.
We got tons of great feedback, by the way. Thank you all, your opinions on things. Thank you also for informing me that I'm really stupid. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're not stupid, Tucker. You're a renowned current affairs.
Well, the viewers said it, not me.
I deleted all those comments.
Oh, thank God. You can't find them now.
So, yeah. We were asking, one thing we were talking about was, you said that some of the podcasts you wouldn't count. Do you count podcast editorials as podcasts?
Yes.
I see. What's your criteria for that?
They have to be either mutually or exclusively focused on you. Things that involve me are not podcasts. Well, things that focus on me are not podcasts. That was about me.
Focus on you. Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, that was about me, not about you. You were just there.
So I've had podcasts focused on an individual before.
Oh, shit. It was focused on Randy Orton. It's not a podcast.
Randy Orton, that's a good shout. FM Chris.
I would say that
our most high-profile guest.
I think that context still works because it's a 50-50 between me and you about something. That wasn't a 50-50. That was like a 25-75.
In which direction?
I was stumbling over myself a whole bunch, and you would say words sometimes, and I'd fall even farther into a hole of confusion. So
you're saying that in your head, you spoke for 75% of that podcast?
Yeah, actually, that's probably accurate.
Interesting. And I don't know, we can never really get an idea, but I bet if you went through and did it, and actually analyzed it, I bet I talked more.
I doubt it, dude.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I overestimate how much I talk because I don't like it when I talk. But I think I do.
Really?
I think you. I mean,
somebody who doesn't like hearing themselves talk. Holy shit! All right.
I like listening to people answer things. That's more interesting to me.
Wow, you fucking hate hearing me.
Well,
I never answer anything.
Well, what's good about you is that you'll answer anything, but you'll never answer anything.
Exactly. I did it.
And the challenge, I think, of being your co-host is to get you to answer a question. And then now that's more interesting for everybody when I finally do it. So, what about shows? Like, I've interviewed people before. I even interviewed FM Chris. I'd say he probably talked for most of his show.
I don't know who that is. We don't know who that is.
You talk about podcast lore, and you've never even watched the early.
Nobody here knows who that is.
You're
the Tucker generation viewers don't know who that is.
You're right. Nobody here knows who it is. But you mentioned podcast lore. I just thought you might know more than the average.
I know very much about the stuff that was just pre-Tucker podcast era, and now.
Okay.
Which is the Tucker podcast era. Because I'm on every single one of these now, so...
That's true.
Even the ones where I'm not talking, I'm there in the corner.
I do have podcasts recorded of me and Marshall that I haven't uploaded.
From how recent?
This year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were like... I don't know, like past 5 years. Like I'm like, no. I don't know if those count. Like
it was about... it was actually about his politics. It was in the primary season in the US.
Yeah, that's probably a time-sensitive issue.
Kind of.
You should try to upload it in 4 years and see how much it applies.
Well,
probably quite well.
They're all very old. Also, isn't the U.S. presidential cycle 5 years? Or is that... am I thinking of something else?
No, it's 4.
Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, we talked about very broad issues like international intervention and stuff like that. So...
sounds like things most people don't understand.
Including us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Vote of confidence.
These are complicated topics. I guess I'm more curious about some of them than other people, but I wouldn't say I know anything about them. I need to visit more often to kind of conflict-stricken regions of the world. I always find it interesting when I do. But I do need to visit more often. I think you get a lot more of a sense of, like, you humanize the situation when you get there. You know what I mean? Like,
is there a pay-per-view we can talk about? Is there a pay-per-view here? Is there wrestling we can talk about?
We'll get on to the wrestling later. We're catching up. We haven't talked in a week.
Oh man,
we haven't talked in a week.
This is what I come on here to talk about, everybody.
What do you come on here to talk? Why do you come on these shows, Tucker?
I'm often just told that we're doing a thing, and I just go along with it because I don't know how to say no.
Well, that's not true. You know exactly how to say no. You do it by not saying no. You say it in vague ways like, you want to do something in an hour? I'll think about it. I'll get back to you.
I don't think I ever do
that.
No,
you don't do that. That was a hyperbolic example. You'll say things like, I'm going to clean my room for 3 days.
That's not even wrong. I fucking showed you that was real. There's fucking Twitter evidence.
Or, what's another
Did you see when I tweeted about that? You totally no-sold it. It was so fucking funny.
I didn't see you tweet about it, actually. Let's go on.
Oh, I tweeted, man, I am just booked today. Cleaning this room. I've just learned we have to take the fucking trim off or something like that. It's a picture of my room, like, all thrown apart.
Hold on. I'm gonna go look at this. This is good memes.
You're about to get fucking
roasted?
Destroyed by facts and logic.
Oh my.
Oh, got him.
Oh, here we go. I am booked for today, cleaning the whole room, and I've just learned we gotta take out most of the trim replacement. It's like take another 16 hours. Oh man.
It's because you had tweeted out like, I'm cleaning the save today. Sounds like it might take another 16 hours. I was like, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, I approve. That's good memes.
Yeah, I wish you had fucking seen it. I was hoping you had seen it. And I remembered, oh yeah, Putty doesn't follow me. That's probably good, actually.
Please stream more Raw. Do you mean the Swoop McCarthy show or Monday Night Raw? Very important difference. That's good memes, though. I appreciate that. I'm going to like that, and then I'm going to reply with an eyes emoji, because I'm a boomer, and that's what the kids do.
Accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. So, do you enjoy coming on these podcasts, Tucker?
Is enjoy the right word?
I don't know. What do you define as enjoy?
I feel good.
When you enjoy something, you feel good.
Yes.
So when you come on these shows, do you feel good?
No.
So you don't enjoy coming on these shows then?
I enjoy the thought of doing these shows.
Uh-huh.
In execution, I often do not enjoy them.
Right. So did you enjoy the show last week?
I think you know the answer to that.
Well, I can presume. Let's assume the answer is no.
No, the answer is probably yes.
Okay.
I think I came away just like knowing what I probably would have ended up admitting to myself a couple weeks from now. But
okay. So wait, you got utility out of the also Swoop McCarthy show, the Only Good Raw. Well, that's all. Honestly, that's mostly up to Tucker. He gets to kind of decide what we do on the weekends these days. But I'm definitely up for more Swoop McCarthy show. So, would you define enjoying something as getting utility out of it then, rather than simply enjoying it? Are you more than just a hedonist utilitarian?
I think obviously you can do things for enjoyment, but you can also do things for like a purpose that will give you future enjoyment.
Oh, yeah.
So like in theory, the fact that I realized ultimately that the reason that I had a problem was because I was making a problem for myself, I guess. There was no real conflict after I'd realized what was going to be fixed in TW 2020 was going to be fixed. It was just, I'm really stubborn, I guess, and told myself at some point, if this thing does not get fixed, I'm not moving. And then it did get fixed, and I'm like, maybe I'm still not moving? And it's like, what? I don't know. It's interesting always when I notice stuff like that about myself, or just learning in general about sometimes how I behave in things is really interesting. Because actively, like, I don't try to be any kind of way with those things, but I always am, and I'm always really interested in why that is. Whether like trying to like avoid a question or like something, or being super defensive or something like that is intentional or not. I'm never quite sure.
Yeah.
Whether, because like I don't think it is, but I would never say like, oh yeah, I like am really bad at answering questions about myself, because I don't think I am, but I am probably, yeah. Like,
Bad's like
I
a
would say
relative
so.
term.
Okay,
So,
well then,
you know, if you're uncomfortable with that, that's fine. So what do you come on these shows to do, out of curiosity?
I come to talk
Cool.
about topics like wrestling.
Like wrestling. Like, for example, the recent changes. No, I'm kidding. SummerSlam 2013.
Oh no!
SummerSlam 2013. So, what set the scene for this show? So,
Summer
why is it-
2013.
Okay, go on.
We're here in Los Angeles.
Ooh. How do you feel about the Staples Center? It is, I presume, the Staples Center.
I actually don't think it was the Staples Center.
Oh, man.
I would assume it is, but I don't think it was.
Oh, boy. Why would you assume that, then?
I thought I saw something at some point in the arena where I was like, that's not the Staples Center. But I thought this was in LA. Can you do some Google?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Just to confirm or not?
Yeah, I didn't know what you had available to you.
There's probably a decent chance it is the Staples Center.
It was the Staples Center, yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I didn't think it was then. I must have seen something somewhere else and confused it. That's okay. We're here in the Staples Center for really something that at the time I don't even I remember it very well, but I don't remember where it came from. And this is something that I had wanted to bring up ever since you had mentioned it to me. In my brain,
Yeah.
I am
place.
What's that?
A wondrous place.
A very organized place. I don't know how old I was at the time. I was either
11.
No, I wasn't 11.
What, in 2013?
Yeah, 2013 I wasn't 11.
You're 18 now, right?
I'm 19 now.
Okay, 12.
I will be 19 this year.
Oh, so you're 18
SummerSlam is in August though. So
when in August, though?
What day in August was it?
18th.
Shit, you're right. I would have
You were
been
11.
Would I have been 11?
Yep.
No, I couldn't have been.
What do you mean you couldn't have been? Subtract 7 years from 18.
I was 10 in 2011. I would have been 12.
Turning 13?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, wait, that's not right. You're 18 now. You're turning 19 this year. That's 6 years. You turned 13 in 2014.
No. Wait.
What's your birth date? 2001, right? How old is someone on this date? Alright, age calculator.
Please actually answer, because I'm pretty sure I'm right, but now I'm confused.
What's your
as hell.
birth date exactly?
August 22nd, 2001.
2001. And then we go August... What is it exactly?
18th, 2013.
I'm almost certain I'm right. But maybe,
You might be.
Maybe my mathematics are terrible. Alright. You would have been 11. 11
That's
years,
so
11
weird.
months,
What the
29 days.
That's so fucking weird. I don't remember
It's not
being
weird.
11.
The year
now.
is 2020. That year is 2013. There's a 7-year gap. You are currently 18. You minus 7. It's
I know, but So wait, I started watching wrestling when I was 10?
Well, you turned...
But I've been 9.
You turned 9 in 2010. So, did you start watching wrestling in 2010?
No, I started watching wrestling in 2011.
Before August.
Yes.
You were 9.
What the fuck? I've always known myself to start watching wrestling at like 10. What the fuck?
You are really,
No, I'm like,
you're really bad with age though, because whenever anyone asks you your age, you tell them what age you're gonna be at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's because age is weird to me. Because in theory, how old I am is how many years I've seen, not like exactly to the date. It's
Yeah.
I'm weird with age. It's genuinely just a me thing. Like I for some reason I've gotten in my head it's like about the year and how many years
you're smoking a cigarette. I saw 4 months of 2001. I lived that shit, dude. All right, you don't measure me in how many calendar months. You don't. I mean, I'm talking about you. But,
I know.
Okay.
I know that was the joke.
I lived 12 months in 2001. All right, I did live that shit. Yeah, you're like, I saw 4 months, I lived that shit. Don't measure my age and how many calendar years. It's about what I've seen, man. I know what 2001 was like.
I saw 9/11 when I was like a couple weeks old, man. Oh man.
That's the shit right there. I'm a 9/11.
Yeah,
I'm a 9/11 like generation guy. You know, I feel it.
Yikes.
Hell yeah, brother.
Anyways,
Hell yeah, brother.
That's just really weird to me. I was like fucking competent for 9. Weird.
Wow.
I just thought I would have been like really stupid at 9, but like I remember being like, "Fuck yeah, I kind of got shit." All right.
What's changed, Tucker? What's changed, Tucker?
I got smarted, putty. All right. I read a book once and I got information.
Wait, if you were smart back then, and you've got smarter now,
nothing has
how
changed.
does that work?
Well, eventually,
definitely
right?
Not...
It's like a scale, right? Like eventually you go so far one way, you loop back around the other. You know
Is
what I mean?
that how
like
it works?
Circle. Yeah.
Also, if that's how it works, you must have gotten so smart that you're smarter than any other person ever.
Jesus.
Because that hasn't been observed with
Alright, we're moving on.
People. Also, I want to say that I told you to told you to set the scene for SummerSlam 2013, and it's your fault we got onto this topic.
No, it's not.
What do you mean?
I went into a question, and then you started fighting me on my age. You just let my age go. It wouldn't have mattered.
You asked me. I'm sure you said, would I have been?
Fuck you.
Okay.
Anyways, where the fuck did this whole thing for Daniel Bryan come from?
What whole thing for Daniel Bryan?
That was my original question. Where the fuck did that come from? Because, like, in my brain, he was, like, a mid-carder who got no reaction, and then all of a sudden, one Raw, he was the most over person alive, and Cena picked him as his opponent, and I was like, what did I miss? Like, seriously, what the fuck happened? Like, 2013... I would have been watching pretty regularly still, like the TVs.
Can we stop this a second, because I'm getting lost in what you're saying, and
yes.
Maybe the viewers are too. Is your point that your conception was that Bryan went from mid-carder to insta-over in a night, or is that what actually happened, you're contending?
That was my perception, okay. So I assume something is wrong, like there's something I'm missing there, but like my belief was like he was mid-carder, kind of hanging out in the mid-card, upper mid-card maybe, yeah, because he was teaming with Kane at the time, so he's like upper mid-carder, and then all of a sudden one fucking show, everybody was really, really, really hype about him, and like was chanting his name a whole bunch, and that he should be the guy who fights Cena at SummerSlam, and I was like, well, they won't do that, he's not a star, and then they were like, yeah, Daniel Bryan, and I was like, but why? What happened? What did I miss? Like, and that's still how I remember it. Like, to this day, I just was like, just one fucking day, everybody got really, really, really hyped for Daniel Bryan, and it just happened to be what they were booking.
That is kind of what happened, but that's not.
Oh shit! Are you serious? Amazing.
Well, I'll explain it, and maybe I think when I explain it, you'll say, oh yeah, that kind of lines up, but not quite. So Bryan has always been over because good people get over in the WWE. That's kind of how it works. So 2010, he was fucking over, as hell.
Yeah, I should have stated he's always been over, but like it's not to like the extent was like fucking
Yes.
insane.
He got more over in the summer of 2013, and the reasons for that are that the product was generally very hot. John Cena's very good. The Shield were very good. The crowds were getting really smarky in like 2012 to 2013. And the crowds were just getting like hotbeddy, and the product was just super hot. And then Bryan had a feud with Orton, and that first match was by far the best in their series. And it just
I know what you're talking about.
And it warmed him up immensely over the summer. He had a tag team with Kane that got super over, and like yeah, he was really warm in the summer of 2013 because the product was hot and he was good and he was the best around. So of course he got the most out of the hotness of the product. John Cena close second. So yeah, he kind of came out of nowhere because the product was heating up hugely that summer, and he would benefit the most from it. But he was always in a position to benefit from it.
My belief always, like later on, was that something must have leaked somewhere, and people knew he was going to be number one contender, because like it still didn't make any sense to me, like why these people were all of a sudden like cheering for him. Like a lot, and that was like exactly what they were going to do. I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, I think they were just booking that though, if I remember.
I'm just like 11, and I just can't figure whatever I am. I just can't like figure out.
Maybe you missed a show.
But then again, though, like missing like a single like Raw or something like that shouldn't like be like, "What the fuck is happening?" You know what I mean?
I think they were running. I think they were running a lot of shows. I'm pretty sure there was like there was only a couple week turnaround before SummerSlam. Hold on.
Because he was part of Money in the Bank, kind of just feuding with Randy Orton, and then they came out of Money in the Bank, and it was like, "You're now number one contender for the world title," and it's like, what? That's how 11-year-old me
injured. I think
Cena got injured after this.
No, I think he was injured in the match, and they wrote him off afterwards.
No, he has the injury.
Yeah,
because on his arm, he's got this big fucking thing, and they're like, he's got like a thing of like fluid that's the size of like, they say like a golf ball or something like that, like under his elbow or something like that. I'm like, fucking gross. Like, don't tell me about that, Michael.
So it's likely that Cena probably wouldn't have lost this match if he wasn't needing to be written off.
Which is crazy. It's so crazy to me how like, if he had won, it would have been such a fucking downer in that crowd.
I'm not sure. What do you? Well, let's get on to set the scene further. Let's not skip to the main event.
What other things do you want me to set?
Well,
just the feuds?
Is there a significance to SummerSlam as a show over the course of that that decade? Is it what was its impact? What was going
I think you're looking at the main event and the co-main event reflect stylistically something that's going to happen in the world of like around wrestling, and one of them is very specific to WWE, the events that occur in it. If that makes any sense. Like, one of the matches is this, I think, this greater kind of reflection on what's going to happen. And one of them is literally a massive turning point in, like, the trajectory of the company.
Mm-hmm. So, what does this...
I was waiting till we got to those matches to expand on that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to tie the legacy so deeply into, like, the substance of the match. So you're saying that this show had an impact on the future of WWE's booking because the matches themselves represented a shift in the way that they were doing matches?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think led up to that?
What do I think led up to it?
That's what I said.
Like directly, or like more like extrapolated?
Why don't you do both? Do you not want to do both? Which one would you like to do?
I don't know how to do either.
Why would you suggest either?
I was hoping you'd say one thing, and I'd be like, okay, I can kind of do that, maybe.
Okay, then pick the one. Then pick one. If you just want me to say one,
I think a lot of it comes from that pipe bomb or whatever, because that's what they've called it. Whatever, I'll call it that.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, CM Punk's work, shoot, work. What the fuck? Apparently it was a shoot, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I'm unworkable.
Do you want to talk about that?
I do, yeah, kind of.
Okay, so why don't you believe... So, first of all, what's the argument for it being a shoot? Where have you heard that? What's the evidence?
Punk himself has said it was a shoot.
What, on the Cabana podcast or more recently?
Uh-oh,
you don't have a source.
I think it was a documentary that they did. That WWE did at the time on it.
At the time?
Yeah.
WWE documentaries at that time.
Somewhere in here, he talks about... And I cannot tell you where it's from, genuinely. I think it's from a documentary, because I can see him saying it. He talks about the fact that...
Did he do, like, a Best in the World documentary at some point in that era?
Probably, yeah. He was basically told, like, you have 10 minutes, you say anything you want. Which I doubt. I just doubt they just handed somebody who was going to possibly leave the company a live mic and was just like, I don't know, say some things maybe. See ya. But maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe Vince is like a crazy fucking genius and like figured out that like Punk would say some crazy shit and like that would get eyes. I don't know.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I think that the general idea was known what he would say, but I think they genuinely did just send him out there and be like, say whatever the fuck you want, dude. Like just fucking attack the company or something like that, maybe. Get some people talking. That'd be kind of cool, maybe. I don't know. Which I think plays into the fact that his contract was genuinely being negotiated, and him having more freedom on the mic was almost certainly an incentive. You know what I mean? Like, you just go out and say the stuff that you want within a limit.
Sure.
And then we'll just cut you off at some point or something like that and make it look like you weren't supposed to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Like most things in wrestling, I think like the truth is somewhere in the middle of those two. You know what I mean?
I think that's a fair shout.
But yeah, no. All of a sudden, CM Punk's pipe bomb, basically, I mean, according to some people that I've talked to, completely like rejuvenated the WWE product, like completely breathed life back into something that was so fucking stale.
It brought me back.
I was gonna say it brought a lot of people back, a lot of people.
It's the same thing with this 2013 product, although I think it only started to happen in 2014. I know a lot of people, and me too, got back into WWE when the product was this hot in like 2014.
It's because all of a sudden, like on live TV, this guy who, you know, had kind of come from, you know, he wasn't like a made star or something like that. He was
Chicago made.
He was a Chicago made punk, not a Chicago made star.
Oh yeah, that CM Star Raid run wasn't.
Yeah. But anyways, you know, I mean, he wasn't super sculpted, super muscular. He wasn't.
If you built the Sports Entertainer from the ground up, it wouldn't look like CM Punk.
No, it wouldn't fucking at all. And all of a sudden, he came out, took a microphone, and said, "Fuck you, I'm better than you, and the only reason I'm not considered better than you is because the people who run this place think that you're cooler than me or something, and I'm gonna name drop other companies now. By the way, other wrestling companies exist. That's never happened before. I made Ring of Honor. Who the fuck's Colt Cabana? Hi.
Boom boom.
Like, all of a sudden opened, like, the idea of, like, these other companies exist. And what the fuck? There's a whole bunch of these weird wrestlers who do flips. The fuck is happening? And it ends with him saying that the boss of the company should die. Oh my god. Wow.
Yowie wowie.
Move forward a couple months, and they've done nothing to capitalize on this momentum until...
What do you mean, dude? They're putting Punk in the biggest feud of his career. Kevin Nash.
Revelation, Kevin Nash. Truly, that's how you know you've made it. Until eventually they put the belt on him, then he lost the belt, then they put the belt back on him, and then they turned him heel about 5 months into his big babyface title reign. In the most confusing thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yep, they kept the belt on him for a fucking year and a half, and then had him lose to The Rock.
Well, no, he held it for like another 7 months or whatever after turning heel.
Yeah, but the whole reign was garbage.
Yes, well, very much so. And then he lost it to The Rock, so he could go fight John Cena, meaning that ultimately,
so they both could go fight John Cena.
Everything that he had talked about changing things, whatever, immedially.
That honestly,
didn't really mean anything for
2012 WWE feels like Tucker booked it. They couldn't figure out any.
I be angry. I want to fucking punch you. I'm like, ah.
They couldn't figure out how to take the belt off Punk, so they heel turned him, hoping it would make him more interesting. They really like Punk, but they don't know what to do with him, so they keep the belt on him. And then at the Royal Rumble, they realize Mania is coming up, and they have to do something more interesting, so they put it on The Rock. So, that literally is the last year of your brand split.
It's even worse though, because I don't know. I obviously I'm a kid at the time, okay, right? So obviously I'm looking at it very different, and maybe that's an interesting perspective to have. Actually, now that I think about it, that's really valuable to have, basically a kid's perspective. And I'm okay, I'm 10, but I'm 10, but I'm fuck John Cena. John Cena's stupid. Fuck John Cena. I don't really know why, but I'm fuck John Cena. Other people say fuck John Cena. I'm cool. I'm mature. I get it. Fuck John Cena. Yeah, I said it. You know what I mean? I like The Miz because he's, I don't know,
awesome.
Loud. Yeah, I don't know. Even though now genuinely, I really do like that story. He's gonna fucking tell me to shut up. I really like it. It's an underdog, but he's the heel. Anyways,
Alex Riley is the real hero of that story. Okay,
that's true. He's gonna come out. He's the underdog, but he's the heel. Anyways, I'm
not gonna cut you off unless you start talking about DDP yoga. Okay, that's gonna be.
As a kid,
you would do a lot of DDP yoga.
I wasn't done cheering that CM Punk character, and then they turned him heel, and it was wait, what the fuck? Why? Why would you do that? I don't know if it was very obviously stale, and I'm just a kid and I can't fucking see that at the time.
It was, but the heel turn didn't make it any less stale. It was the exact same character.
I remember the heel turn being really frustrating. Yeah, genuinely, because he didn't do anything different, except for occasionally he'd be like, you don't respect me. Which is weird, because then all of a sudden it became really meta when it was you're booking me.
Dude, the pipe bomb started it.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, wait a minute. Did you just complain about CM Punk's character in 2012 being too meta when it started with the pipe bomb?
Yeah, but that was more up in your face meta versus I'm not being respected even though I've been champion for so long. When it's yeah, but you're the one who's writing him not to be respected? What the fuck? Are you stupid? Do I not get it? It feels like something that they tried to make a character out of, even though they just fucked up. You know what I mean?
This is now getting to the root of why we're here to talk about, which is SummerSlam. Which is obviously the second to last match on the card.
CM Punk walked so Daniel Bryan could run.
So
and then hurt his neck, and then run again.
So we've talked about how this is a hot product, and about how things are on an incline in terms of the whole product from here. So why don't we start off with the show? What do you want to talk about first?
I think we just start at the beginning, right?
All right. So
at the beginning, The Miz comes out. I actually don't have this written down anywhere. I remember this because I watched this segment and I went, what the fuck is happening? The Miz comes out and welcomes everybody to SummerSlam. It's then I have flashbacks to the face Miz run, and I'm like, no, you can't take me there. No, you can't do this to me. I see him doing the figure four. I'm like, no. And then Fandango comes out. And then Fandango goes away, and then The Miz goes away. They don't do anything. Fandango comes out and stands there, and The Miz is like, can I help
he
you?
can't just stand there. He has to do the dance, right?
Okay, yes, he does do the dance. He's like, can I help you? And Fandango dances a little bit. Like, he just waves his arm. He's like, yeah, gets into it, and then, like, fucking walks away. And then it's like, okay, bye, pal, whatever. Welcome to SummerSlam. Interestingly enough, the theme that they play in the opening video package is currently Akira Tozawa's theme. That's the opening theme. It's Akira Tozawa's theme.
Oh my.
So, yeah, I was like, shit, that's kind of interesting. And then we jump right into Putty's two favorite wrestlers fighting in the best match type ever.
Hold on. Oh, okay. Well, that gives it away. I was going to try and guess, but I now know, and I will introduce it to add some sort of value to this conversation. The first match, ladies and gentlemen, is Bray Wyatt versus Kane in a Ring of Fire match.
Inferno match.
Isn't it a Ring of Fire match?
I think the literal difference is that the Ring of Fire match can be won by pinfall, where an Inferno match you have to set your opponent on fire.
Yeah, it's very different.
So it is a Ring of Fire match.
Yeah.
You are correct, yes.
Yeah, it's like a steel cage match, but instead of a steel cage, there's a Ring of Fire. It honestly sounds fine when you put it that way. Yeah. But it's Kane versus Bray Wyatt. I would watch, like, a lot of wrestlers have a Ring of Fire match and be okay with it if they just, like, never... Because, honestly, it gives you the psychology of a steel cage, but without having the bad camera angles of a steel cage.
Well, and also, like, every time they touch, like, they don't even touch, they just go near, and it's like, whoa! You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, are they going to spontaneously combust?
Do you mean mentally, or I can't remember if they did that in this match, or if it was only in the old ones, where occasionally they would, like, push the pyro button and the fire would get higher?
Every fucking bump, the pyro goes... At some point, you're just like, what the fuck is happening? And, like, Bray will, like, he'll be like, oh, kind of out of breath, and then lean towards the ropes, and then look down and go, oh! Like, it's like, oh my fucking god, that's how you get your new fucking scary cult leader heel over, folks. Fuck. This match is so fucking stupid. I fucking hate it. Like, even, like, the booking on paper, I'm actively mad at. Like, it's really badly booked.
Would you say you're seeing red?
I was a bit hot under the collar looking at it, to be honest. It lit a fire inside me.
Yeah. No, not doing it.
So, this entire match, Kane just starts kicking Bray Wyatt's ass. Like, that's the entire match until Harper and Rowan, who comedically, like, are trying to time their spots with, like, the explosion of the pyro. But, like, the pyro will always go off, like, a split second too late. So they'll, like, almost be, like, going into the ring, and they'll be like, oh, man, whoops, whoa, I don't understand how this works. What the hell? So they eventually, like, throw down, like, it's like a blanket over top of the fire, and that stops it. Some special blanket or something like that. I'm not firefighting. I don't know if that's real or not.
Retardant, I think is called?
Yeah, but they're like, it's an asbestos blanket, they keep saying, and I'm like, that probably shouldn't be out and about among people.
Well, Harper and Rowan have special access, okay?
That's true. And so, like, yeah, they just climb in the ring, and they're the ones who beat up Kane, and then put Bray Wyatt on Kane. And I'm like, this is Bray Wyatt's debut match, just FYI.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I remember that.
I'm just sitting there, I'm like, because we had that conversation already on the stream, and I was like, no, he came in a fucking loser. They never gave him a shot. He came in and gets fucking dummied by Kane. I'm like, oh my god. They fucking failed him from the get-go. I mean, he failed himself, but still, that's not helpful. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Wow. Like, I get that the character they're going for is somebody who, like, uses the numbers advantage, but it's his first match, and he, like, gets, like, 2 moves in the entire match before Rowan and Harper come in. Like, it's like, wow. Wow, really? Jesus, huh? I don't know, it just made me profusely sad. Like, I'm like, huh. They're really gonna fuck this up over the next couple of years, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do you want to talk about that?
Pence, do you want to talk about that?
If you want to talk about that, sure.
I don't know, because you don't seem to think they messed him up at all.
Does that bother you?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, you want to talk? Say you want to introduce? Do you want to set up a premise?
I don't know if there is that much of a premise outside of just like
Well, why don't you explain why you passionately feel like they messed Bray Wyatt up?
I think outside of the character stuff, which I have problems with, like even just like his base booking wise, he didn't win very much, which is never great for anyone. Um, like at all. Like I can think of very few feuds that he won during his time as Bray Wyatt. Can you think of any off the top of your head?
The Bryan feud, I think he won.
No, because Brian snapped out of the Wyatt family thing and then beat him up in a steel cage.
That was oh yeah, was that after the Rumble then?
Yeah.
Okay.
They lost the feud to the Shield in 2014.
Yeah, I don't remember either of those things. I don't remember either of those feuds having like a winner that you like specifically point to and be like, wow,
Right.
that was like
Yeah, but I mean, you can feel who came away with the momentum from that. Like,
ooh, I don't know. The Wyatt
I
family
just
were
mean the
really
Shield.
hot in the summer.
The Shield went on to feud with Evolution.
Yeah, and then the Wyatts went on to feud with the Usos in a really hot match where they were super over. What did Bray do that summer?
Yeah, that's the thing. What did Bray do that summer? He probably fought like Roman and lost because that was
No.
like that was his summer forever.
That wasn't hit that summer.
Oh, okay.
I know he was feuding with the Undertaker by the end of the season, but I don't remember.
Oh,
what
that's
he was
when they
doing.
gave him his lightning powers.
What was he doing in the summer? Was he doing anything?
He was like, "Oh, I'm the new face of fear," and then started like blowing shit up. And it was like, "Why?"
I
are
know he
you...
was feuding with Dean Ambrose in the winter.
Oh, when they made him be a fucking hologram in the Hell in a Cell. Do you remember that?
No, I remember Dean.
The lantern was suddenly the lights went out. The lantern was in the ring, and like a spooky but Bray Wyatt shaped thing was
yeah.
the lantern's reflection,
And
and
I
that was
remember the exploding television that when they main evented the December show.
yes. Oh my fucking god, the exploding television where it was like, wow, what the hell? I always just thought that like it was just supposed to be like a thing that like malfunctioned, but then they were like, no, Bray Wyatt made it explode. And I'm like, what do you mean? He has power over like TVs now? Like what the fuck? This is what I mean by his character has way too much shit going on and none of it seems to link together. Like,
okay, I'll set out my premise. Bray Wyatt was booked from a levels perspective, much this. I guess I'll go into that more later because that's not a very good way to put it. But Bray Wyatt was booked much the same as most characters in WWE that aren't the guys. Right? I've always contended this. WWE has the protected people and everybody else. It's pretty clear who the protected people are. Bray Wyatt was definitely. Sorry.
sorry.
Daniel Bryan was clearly not one of. Sorry. Bray Wyatt was clearly not one of those people.
He has no idea what he's even saying, folks.
Was clearly not one of those people. Was he was booked inconsistently? Yes. Did he lose a lot? Yes. But I think that kind of can be put on a lot of different people, and I mean Punk's a good example of that. And if you're good enough, especially at talking in the WWE, you can kind of get through that and get into your main event programs and make them interesting, make them compelling, get the crowd into your matches, and put something together. I mean, the Smoke and Mirrors era is the perfect example of this, right? These guys were awful in the ring, but they were good enough at the other aspects of the wrestling that those matches at least had some heat behind them. And then the Smoke and Mirrors could carry them through, right? They could pop spots on it. Bray Wyatt has a litany of Smoke and Mirror main events. None of them got over. Not a single one, except for maybe the Cena match, which isn't really a Smoke and Mirrors match, it's a John Cena match. Although, the fucking steel cage match, I think, was really Smoke and Mirrors.
Child.
Yeah.
Child.
So, and that wasn't one of the good ones. So, like, I think the good ones were a bit more John Cena. So, my point, so why I reject the idea that WWE screwed Bray Wyatt up is that booking has succeeded in other people, in good people, and that largely the control factor here, the difference between a successful character and an unsuccessful character, isn't the style of booking applied to them. It is the quality of the performer. And now I want to delve into a slight sub point here, and that is that Bray Wyatt has a kind of abstract character. These are different kinds of characters to like others in the WWE. You know, guys like luchadors, guys who are supernatural. These are character tropes in the WWE, and yeah, they have to be treated a little bit differently. It's a lot more about the image than it is about the story. And in that department, Bray Wyatt has gotten all the help he could possibly ask for. The wardrobe department, the lighting department, the VT department, all of that has been almost like perfect on Bray Wyatt's run. Like, they've tried so hard to get him over, to get the Firefly stuff over, to get the image of him in the chair, the lighting, the cult, the wardrobe. Like, everyone there pushed him so hard, and he still couldn't get his shit over. So no, I don't think they screwed him up. I think he's bad. Mark Calloway would have killed that character.
Oh,
A very fat Mark Calloway would have killed that character.
Okay, Mark's too tall.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. It is what it is.
You want to just move on?
Unless you want to respond.
Not really. I mean, we've gone back and forth about this now for like 2 days. Like, I think most of like the stuff that we said to each other was yesterday. So
cool.
You know what happens next?
You tell us what you thought of that first match in terms of like stars.
Oh, I didn't do any stars for the show.
Well, what would you have given it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Half.
Okay.
Of a star.
Yeah.
I wrote, wow, this is bad.
The indication of wow indicates you were surprised.
I was surprised at how bad it was.
Yeah?
Like, I thought it'd be like just kind of like a normal brawl, and they'd play to the gimmick a lot.
Yeah.
But it was a bad brawl where they played to the gimmick a lot. It was like, oh, okay. You're not even like good at the thing. You're supposed to just kind of doing this, where you just kind of like punch each other, and then every once in a while slam somebody, and it goes. No, they kind of just like, I don't know, punch each other a little bit. Like, the focus of the match is on like Harper and Rowan trying to figure out how to get into the Inferno, which is weird. So it's like, match itself was kind of just like an afterthought, even in its own segment.
No, by the way, the cage match was before the Rumble.
They wrestle at the Rumble?
Yeah, and Wyatt beat Bryan.
In 2014?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But the match at the Rumble was, after he broke free.
They really had no plans to use him for Mania, did they? Holy shit.
Well, of course they did. They were going to put him in a featured undercard match with Sheamus.
Oh, amazing. I can't believe that was like a thing that they thought would just go over well. Fuck. They're so fucking stupid. Like, I can't believe them.
Also, can I just can we all take an out of body moment to step back and Tucker for you to identify that you remembered something wrong? Just add that to like a notch in your head somewhere if you can.
No. Anyways.
Okay, go on. And actually, I guess. Sorry, go on.
Nope, we're moving on.
Before we move on.
Nope.
There's a comment that I think you would like to at least hear and possibly respond to. Jero in the chat says Wyatt's reinvention as the Fiend is my favorite thing WWE has done in the last 2 years.
I think a lot of people feel that way. I don't think you're alone at all.
How do you feel?
I think long before he messed it up, they had already messed it up.
Oh, I see. You instead of giving your actual feelings on that point, you wanted to use it as a way to score points on the previous points. That's fine. I respect the hustle. What's the next match?
No, I genuinely
it's
mean
fine. It's chill. It's fine. It's good.
No, because you haven't been around. You haven't been watching. I don't know if you know whether. I don't know if you know.
Hey, I said the Pud is coming home and he's never leaving.
Last year, he won a Hell in a Cell match against Seth Rollins by DQ. And that killed a lot of the stuff around him. Because like the reaction to that was so fucking poor and so fucking stupid. Genuinely. How do you book I just don't understand why you don't even, like, it's your own gimmick match. Just don't book the match then if you don't want to put one of them over. I don't get it. I don't get it.
What's the next match?
It's Damian Sandow versus Cody Rhodes.
Ooh, this sounds like it could have some potential.
As I've written, this feud is lame.
What was it about?
Cody Rhodes went for the Money in the Bank briefcase, but Damian Sandow pushed him off the ladder and took it himself.
Oh my, that's cool.
That's really lame.
What do you mean? That's awesome.
Because they literally say in, like, a pre-match promo that Cody was like, I would have done the exact same thing. I'm like,
yeah.
Why are you angry then?
Because he still would have rather him not do it.
So then Cody Rhodes isn't a good guy either.
No.
Everybody is evil here.
Everybody wants the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Everybody sucks here.
Evil. He pushed the guy off the ladder in a ladder match to win the ladder match. What's this
so
evil?
Cody should have accepted it. So he's
Not
wrong.
accepted it.
Cody Rhodes is wrong.
If someone beats you, they could be not a bad guy, but you could still be mad about it and want to prove that it
Okay,
was...
Cody then took the Money in the Bank briefcase and threw it into the Gulf of Mexico. So
is he the heel or the face?
he's the face.
Okay, this is why face and heel are outdated, because that's fine, because he's a spiteful little prick. But,
Oh, okay.
But, you know, there's that. Hell in a Cell and Goldberg legit fucked over the Fiend's with him, but I guess Mania helped salvage it. What do you think, Tucker?
Not even... No, the Goldberg thing... No, that didn't even affect him. He was already dead. He had already lost a
So you
lot of his
disagree with the outrage around that?
I have problems with it for other reasons, but, like, I'm not one of the people who's like, oh my god, how could Goldberg beat the Fiend? Like, I don't care.
Okay.
And maybe I'm genuinely because I've just checked out with WWE at this point, and I don't care anymore. Like, I don't care.
It's okay. That's a conversation for another day. It's a longer one. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the Sandow Cody thing. I mean, that sounds fine as a feud setup to me. Like, if someone knocks you out of a tournament, it's fine to, like, feud on them based on the fact that, you know, you think that.
Yeah, but they were a tag team, and they were best friends.
Oh, well, there you go. He's mad because...
Yeah, but he said he would do it to him anyways. So it's like, nobody here... Like, you're all terrible. I hate both of you.
You know what? Sometimes people can be mad at each other, Tucker, without one of them being wrong. That's how human emotions work.
I've never
Sometimes you get
experienced
into an argument with somebody that you love. And
Everyone
you just want
is wrong
them,
except for me.
You just want them to validate your feelings, not tell you that you were right. Because you know that you're not right, but your feelings were right. Cody might be wrong, but his feelings are valid, and he just wants Damian to validate those and to have a match where they can work it out physically.
Which they don't.
Getting physical with someone is the best way to work through your issues and your tensions.
Let's get physical.
So how was the match?
It was short.
Good or bad?
Like, below average.
I see.
There's not a lot of heat here. Nobody
Is
really
Sandow not
cared.
over?
What's that?
Is Sandow not over?
Sandow's massively over.
Oh.
But the match itself is like, people are just on their hands. They don't care.
Oh, I see.
They're very happy about Sandow, though. I've written down, Sandow has a lot of charisma, not enough to save this match. It's very weird to me that this Cody Rhodes and 2020 Cody Rhodes are the same person. They're so fucking different. Maybe they're not. Maybe I'm a big mark. I am. But, you know, that's not important. That's not what this conversation's about.
After Rollins, who do you think is the next feud for Drew McIntyre? Is it a dream match with Jinder Mahal?
Oh, fuck yeah. No.
Have you seen that?
I have, yes.
Oh my.
I assume it is Jinder, or not Jinder. Probably will face. I'm trying to think about who they've been building up. They really haven't been building anyone.
All right. Well, that's that question answered. So the match was trash. What's the next match?
They won't fight anyone. Yeah, that match wasn't very good.
Yep. Next match.
Next match is I don't remember which one came first.
The chicken.
Okay, one or two.
Well, nothing for that. Two.
Two. Okay, so we'll say that Christian versus Alberto Del Rio for the world title came next.
Ooh.
What do you think it did?
That
I think
sounds
it
like
did.
a match that could be fun.
It wasn't.
Okay.
It was very boring.
Got it. Next match?
Christian is not very good.
And Christian's the better of the tag team.
Who the fuck said that?
Me.
What?
Next.
Why would you say that?
Next.
Okay. Natalia versus Brie Bella.
Ooh, now I think I'd really like this match.
It went about 10 minutes.
Oh.
Which was weird. It went long.
Ooh.
I wrote, fucking pain, fuck this show, fuck me, fuck you, Putty, fuck.
Did Natalia work some heat segments?
Natalia's the face.
Did she work some heat segments?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Natalia knows how to do.
Okay. Next match.
Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk.
All right. What was the story of this one?
So this is involving Paul Heyman breaking up with CM Punk because CM Punk is a loser, question mark. I don't really know. The build was just kind of like, you're not with me anymore, Paul. I'm going to get you.
Pow.
And Paul's like, I have Brock Lesnar. You know, get me. And so
Is that how he cut that promo?
yeah, he's like, you know, get me.
What about Ryback? Is Ryback involved yet?
No, Ryback is in a backstage segment on here where he's like goes up to some worker and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like making hot dogs and he's like, "Ha ha ha!" and like dumps the hot dog on him and it's like, okay. Because remember when Ryback was just like the guy who bullied random workers backstage?
Yep.
It's my favorite fucking character. He just like would just like, what do you do? And he's like, I clean the washroom, and then he'd be like, ha ha, give him like a swirly, and it's like, oh man,
Oh man.
that Ryback's not a cool guy.
Until he becomes a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah, I think they must have already done the stuff with Curtis Axel.
Oh yeah.
I guess they must have already done that. Because I don't know, is he still Intercontinental Champion?
I don't know who's in the handicap Hell in a Cell. Do you remember that?
Isn't that Ryback and Curtis Axel against Punk?
Is it?
I think so, because it's not Lesnar.
No. Hell in a Cell 2013. Oh shit! I didn't realize. Oh man, they have. I did not realize I was ripping this off when I did it in Brand Split. I thought genuinely, I had never seen this before. Look how similar it is to one of the Brand Split posters.
Oh yeah. I thought you knew. Okay.
No, mine is completely made from scratch.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, I thought you knew, and you were just like, I'll just make something kind of similar to that.
No, that's racist. Anyway,
Is it?
let's not talk about it any further. So we've got. Oh my god! I thought they were. I genuinely. Oh, this is Hell in a Cell. Never mind. This looks so similar to the fucking SummerSlam card. I see. The handicap match is Paul Heyman and Ryback.
Did Brock, like, not want to work? Like, what the fuck?
Hell in a Cell. This is 2013, Tucker. Brock is not working Hell in a Cell in 2013.
That's true, he's barely working here.
Yeah, he's working like SummerSlam and Mania, maybe Rumble. I think. Maybe.
In his match, he's working very hard. Almost too hard. As I sent you at one point.
For money.
At one point, Brock, like, is basically purple. Like, it's, like, fucking gross. He's, like, sweating all over CM Punk. Like, I'm like...
Well, how good is this match?
Pretty fucking good.
Yeah?
The stuff that's really weird is that, like... I was mentioning this earlier when I said, like, kind of reflects the world around wrestling.
Yeah.
It feels like there's, like... Okay, a sports entertainment MMA influence here.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of Punk's offense and its response from Lesnar.
Go on.
Punk is working with high knees and like head kicks, and he'll kick the leg and stuff like that.
Does Brock sell it?
He does. there's a point where he ges knee in the head and he kind of goes out on his like legs and he puts his fists up and he's kind of like swinging at nothing. It's very like sports entertainment comedy. But like they're like, oh, like the comms are like he rocked him and stuff like that. Like sounds like very much like they're trying to do UFC. There's a lot of Punk does a running knee like a surprising amount, like a whole bunch. He'll just like run and then knee him in the face, and then run and then knee him in the face. On the outside of the floor, he'll run and knee him in the face. They use Paul Heyman's interference like a lot during this match, like probably too much. I think they do like a Paul Heyman interference spot maybe like 5 times over the course of the match.
Yeah.
Which is it's fine because obviously you're trying to like tell the story that like Punk could probably beat Brock, but like Paul's getting in the way. But it's like you do it that many times, and it's like I get it, like you know what I mean. Like it's past the point now where like oh he's the annoying heel. It's like just like can we just move on whatever, because there are points where they do like 3 spots in a row like that, like literally 3 spots in a row. Like it's like I don't know. I thought it was good. I don't know if that's what you were intending when you had told me that the card with one of this match attributed to like vitally changing the product.
Wait, that's what you said.
That's what you said.
I was trying to sum up what you had said.
I'm going to find this.
Okay, don't do it now. Wait, or do you mean I've said it in a text chat or something?
Yes. I can give you a show I think is significant for one reason or another, and you can go watch it. Okay, go watch SummerSlam 2013. Okay, you didn't say anything about product, which is weird. I remember that, but
I said that at the start of the show in response to you having said something similar.
Why do you think it changed the product, this match specifically?
I don't.
Oh, interesting.
I thought you did. That's kind of what you said at the start of the show.
On the stream last night that you were doing, you said I was watching it for the co-main event and the main event.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, so this is just a good match.
What do you think, Tucker?
I think it's really interesting that because UFC is obviously big by 2013. It's not like as big as it would get though, right? Because I think most of the Ronda stuff is 2014, 2015, isn't it?
Well, the Ronda stuff isn't anywhere near as big as the McGregor stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
God, the Ronda stuff always felt like it was way bigger than
So
the McGregor stuff's even later.
Yeah, but I think it was pretty big at this point because the Brock stuff's pretty big. Let me have a look here. What's the date on some of this shit?
Either way, there's obviously an influence there from UFC, which I think is something that's very interesting. It's kind of reflective of, because we talked about how going forward into like 2014, 2015 or whatever, Vince really liked that like work shoot look sometimes in Brock's matches. Bringing up specifically that one match against Randy Orton where it was made to look that like Brock like shot on him and like fucked him up with a whole bunch of elbows or whatever.
Yeah, I'd say looking at this stuff, it kind of hits its peak in 2015, 2016.
It's kind of like an interesting, not necessarily a precursor, but like obviously it's a display that there's interest there maybe in having Brock Lesnar matches function very differently from most other matches that are on the card.
And you think it benefits from that?
I think it does, yeah. I've never seen... No, I don't want to say I've never seen anything like it, but I haven't seen anything like it in a while. Like something that was that obviously trying to tell like some aspects of MMA like that inside of it. And not doing it where just like Brock's shooting on him, you know what I mean? Like not just like using it as like a he's being dummied, but like the idea that like, oh, CM Punk could like stand toe to toe with Brock Lesnar in an MMA context. Also very visionary of Vince McMahon to know that he had 2 MMA legends in front of him. But, you know, I was always going to make a joke about that, and then I forgot about it until just now, and I was like, right, that's the fucking joke there. It's an MMA kind of influence match featuring his 2 MMA guys.
Do you have any idea what star rating you would give this match?
Maybe like a 3.75?
All right. So, you didn't watch this next match, so I took it upon myself. I took it upon myself to go and watch it in full.
It's the only thing I didn't watch in full on this show.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't watch it. I did like skim through it, literally like pressing the forward button, skipping 10 seconds at a time.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. I took it upon myself to go back and watch it in full so that I could take a crack at this one. So the next match was Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn versus AJ Lee and Biggie Langston. Now, the chemistry in this match is honestly unmatched. The Biggie AJ tag team has just instant chemistry. You can tell these characters are just gelling together. And it's an absolute joy to watch. Some of the tag team spots, they're slick, they're smooth. So these are some of the best wrestlers of generation, and watching them in tandem is really a treat. AJ and Caitlyn have fantastic chemistry, and whenever they wrestle, it's almost like a slightly better version of Dragon Lee and Kama Itachi, in the way that they're just always trying to pull out these crazy spots just to show that they're better than one another. Dolph Ziggler is also there. And he needs to be present in these kinds of angles, these kinds of multi-mans. He's often very good at kind of gelling them together. Really, this had all of the ingredients needed for an instant classic. And this is one of those, the co-main events. And it's one of those matches I just remember most about this card. It's a real treat. If you haven't seen it, I'd check it out. If nothing else on this card, this is just one of the more unique matches. If I had to star rate it, I'd probably maybe give it like a 4.25. So yeah, that was the mixed tag.
Well,
Do you have any thoughts on the mixed tag or my thoughts on the mixed tag? Tucker?
No, not really.
Do you agree then?
I don't know. I didn't really watch the match.
Okay. Well,
I don't remember at the time expressly thinking that either of any of these four were anything special. So.
Oh man, that's a
I
putty
might
take.
have thought Dolph Ziggler was really good.
Oh man, oh that's a putty take.
I'm like 11, all right? Leave me alone. Yeah. Yeah. You already talked about the main event?
Sure, I just thought you'd have more to say about those four generational workers.
No, not really.
All right, go ahead. You can go.
Can't wrestle, so.
Excuse me. You cut out. What did you say?
I said women can't wrestle. Anyways,
Give divas a chance, Tucker.
It's my favorite ongoing joke.
Joke. Okay.
I was going to say it's my favorite because it's not a joke. Anyways, main event. Finally, some real wrestling.
Yeah.
You haven't watched this match recently, have you?
I haven't.
It's gonna be tough for me to
Oh man. Okay.
fully lay it out, but
All right.
there's probably the most interesting thing I got from this was very early on. The fans start chanting "You can't wrestle" at John Cena.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because Cena proceeds to wrestle the entire match. He immediately takes Bryan down with a Greco-Roman knuckle lock and starts trying to use his weight to force Bryan down on the mat, and then tries to transition into submissions. Just immediately showing that Cena can also do technical stuff, right? That's why he's the best ever. Because he can do anything. It's awesome. Something I have noted here is that Bryan is a ridiculously fiery babyface.
Yeah.
He has Jesus fucking Christ, what the hell? He has it's tough, I think, to describe babyface fire. I don't know, what it is.
Yeah.
It's just this feeling that as a viewer, almost energizes you watching them. And just he's fucking got it, man. He comes off as this angry, focused, determined little gnome man who's gonna rip your limbs off.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite spots in the match is Bryan again, kind of leaning into his more heel side, which I love because the Daniel Bryan character, I think something that got lost kind of as we went further and further on his like road to WrestleMania type deal, is that the Daniel Bryan character that they've established has a lot of fucking anger issues. Like, this is an angry fucking guy. And, like, there's a point where Cena's on the ground and Bryan keeps kicking him in the back. And he just keeps kicking him in the back and kicking him in the back. And then he's like, get up, and fucking kicks him in the back. And Cena tries to get up, and he's like, get the fuck up. And he kicks him again. And he's like, get up, Cena. And he kicks him again. And he kicks him again. And he kicks him again. And Cena's just like trying to fight back to his knee every single time. And Bryan just fucking kicks him back down. It's just so fucking awesome to see that consistency in the character. I'm like, I fucking love it. And then, had he been using the running knee thing before this show?
I'm not sure, but definitely not a lot.
Because when he hits that running knee, nobody reacts, and then when he gets the 3, the literal reaction is, oh, okay, shit.
Oh man,
like
I don't remember that at all.
Oh, there's a big just, okay, 1, 2, 3. Then they're like, oh shit, and it's like, oh, okay, hooray. There's this like delayed reaction as it's like, oh, that is the move that beat him. So I assume he must have not been using the running knee very much. Aside from that, it's a lot of Bryan working different submissions. One of... What's that?
I said, yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Go on.
Well, you said that... Yeah, okay. They brought up going into this is that Daniel Bryan fashions himself a wrestler and that John Cena is an entertainer. And that Daniel Bryan was going to try to make John Cena tap out. He was going to show that, John Cena's a fraud. That he's not as good as he thinks he is. Yeah. I think all in all,
you enjoyed it.
There's enough downtime in it to make the things that stand out really stand out. But there's never so much downtime as to where it feels flat, and I think that's really helped out by the crowd. I think that the crowd's really into this, and they really want to see Daniel Bryan win. And so Cena plays into that, which he plays into great. I think, like, anytime Cena plays into a heel, he's demonstrated that he could do that tremendously well. Yeah. One of the better matches I've seen in a while. Yeah.
Interesting. Where do you think it ranks on the two competitors' resume?
It's interesting because I don't think it's the best that these two could do against one another.
Interesting. That is interesting.
I think they could do more. And I don't necessarily know what's missing from it. I think it might be a certain level of like intensity from it. Even though obviously there are moments where Bryan brings the intensity. But Cena feels very like relaxed in it, if that makes any sense. And maybe that's like the point of it, obviously. He's too relaxed. He's too confident. The commentators actually pound that home, that John Cena is very confident coming into this. But like it never feels like Cena's like desperate, you know what I mean? He feels kind of relaxed even when he's clearly not in control. And the shock finish, I think, kind of adds to that even. Kind of like there's no like big moment of like, yes, he's going to do it. Like it's like, boom, he hits the knee. Okay. And then it's like, oh shit, he won. Cool. I think on both of their all-timer scales, I think it would rank all right for Bryan and well for Cena.
What do you think of the next match?
um,
Because we forgot a match in a recent podcast we were doing.
we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
This is the match we forgot.
This is a match we forgot, as well as the one at TLC, of course, but we rectified that afterwards.
There's some tremendous storytelling in there that I really like. The fact that Orton doesn't hit a single move on Daniel Bryan.
Oh yeah,
Puts him over and pins him. It's one of my favorite things because it adds to my conception that the Randy Orton story is that he's just Triple H's like little friend.
Not only that, I've just added something you might or might not like. My thing with this feud has always been about control, and Orton doesn't feel like he needs to hit any moves because finally he is in complete control, and it shows that if he had that from the start, he wouldn't even bother with all the wrestling. He'd just like leave. Like he doesn't need to prove anything. If he's got the control over Bryan, he just pins him. Just pins him. Doesn't care.
Which is interesting because he almost walks off and then comes back. Obviously, him and Triple H had planned that out beforehand, but
I don't know.
It almost feels like he puts like control in his court by walking away, keeping Daniel Bryan on edge almost, maybe. You know what I mean? Keeping him all of a sudden in that position. But obviously, they don't go for trying to tell an extended version of that, which is okay.
Is it okay?
But what's that?
Is it okay?
I think I would have liked to see it, but I think what we got was equally as interesting. Like I think there are just as many places you could go with, you know, that like the finish that we got versus one where Orton genuinely does just walk away. I'm not sure which one is more interesting though at the end of the day. Because I think like leaning into the idea that like Randy Orton's like a apex predator or whatever, and he's like, stalking Daniel Bryan almost is kind of interesting maybe. And then even then like the control dynamic that you were talking about kind of even comes into play there. Did you? Oh, you haven't seen this match in a while. Fuck, it won't hit well. At one point, during the match, something like that, Daniel Bryan's starting to gain momentum, and I had to like pause because it was such an emotionally effective line. At one point, JBL, blessed be he, JBL,
a wrestling god,
says, "This could be Daniel Bryan's moment. Daniel Bryan's final countdown is on." And I was like,
"Oh my!"
I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "You know,
he knows."
I was like, "You beautiful son of a bitch, you know."
Oh man!
I was like, "Come here, you bastard!" Yeah, it was good shit. But yeah, no, overall, I didn't realize that they did the pyro and the confetti and then did the Orton cash in. Because it feels so climactic. And then just like Randy Orton's like, "I'm here. Just kidding. No, I'm here." And it's like, oh. I think that's really cool. Like to go full on to like the, you know what I mean? Do the full confetti, do the pyro or whatever, do the big like, oh, he did it. And then like right away, fuck that.
Yeah.
But still getting like that moment or whatever of like, hey, he did it or whatever, and he gets it. And Bryan celebrates with his belt for like a considerable amount of time. You got anything else?
I think that adds to it. I think you're right. Yeah, I remember the show fondly. What do you think of the show as a whole?
Oh, it's a bad show.
Oh, okay. Go on.
There's 2 matches here worth watching. 1 match I didn't bother to watch. 4 matches I wish I didn't watch.
If this show was ranked up against all of WWE's pay-per-views throughout history, do you think it'd be in the top 10%?
No.
Interesting. Cool. I'd be curious over the next coming weeks and months to watch some shows that that you really like from WWE's pay-per-view history. Because the way I'm hearing this from you, that there are some shows that are just like top to bottom bangers that I just don't remember ever existing. So I'm looking forward to it. And
Cool.
yeah, thank you all for watching. And we will see you guys soon.
Soon.